In this video, I want to discuss the 12 most influential signature moves in the NBA. Number 12 goes to Michael Jordan and his signature spin fadeaway. Michael Jordan started his career where he used to be able to blow past players and dunk even in a half-court game, which was unprecedented at the time. However, as defenses became well aware of this, began to collapse, and they implemented what is now known as the Jordan rules, where they would send up to 3 players into the paint to try to stop Michael Jordan from being able to get an easy layup or a dunk. Michael developed the spin fadeaway, where he would do a little bit of footwork to dribble the ball and come back and basically be away from the basket with his back to the basket, and then go airborne and spin in the air, fade away a little bit. And if you watch very closely, Michael has a little bit of hang time when he releases the ball at the top of that fadeaway. So it became very difficult to block that shot, and because of Michael's jumping abilities, he would use that elevation to try to get the jump off. At number 11, we have Tony Parker and the Tony Parker floater. Tony Parker was very effective in that, not being a very tall player and having to be able to drive into the paint and face much taller defenders. In the event that the defender was still in front of him, he'd be able to throw a floater to try to avoid the shot from being blocked. Tony was very effective at this. He did it consistently and to great success in San Antonio. At number 10, we have James Harden and James Harden's signature step back. James Harden, as a player who has incredible offensive skills and has been able and known to make many moves to try to get into the paint, many defenders trying to anticipate that move, they give him a little bit of space so that he wouldn't drive into the basket. Well, in order to give himself even more space, James Harden does a little bit of a step back to take a shot from either 3-point range or just a longer distance shot with plenty of space. At number 9, we have George Gervin and George Gervin's finger roll. The finger roll that he used was popular because at the time many people were using that shot when you come and drive into the paint. If you don't dunk or kiss the ball off the glass, that forward momentum that you carried normally would overshoot the rim, and the finger roll allowed George to slow the ball a little bit enough to be able to swish the basket or even many times bank the shot. At number 8 comes Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan, very well known bank shot. Tim Duncan, known as the great fundamental, had a great knack for getting the ball right on the corners, on what they call the elbows, just outside the paint, and being able to have his back to the basket, turn around, and then just kiss it off the glass. It was extremely effective for Tim, and it was one of those shots that you knew that if he got it off, it was just going to go in. At number 7, we have Manu Ginobili, and Manu Ginobili's famous Euro step. The Euro step was popularized by Manu as a way to avoid a charge. When he drove into the paint and there was a defender in front of him after the first step, that second step will be in a different direction from the first step, thereby allowing Manu to avoid the charge and at the same time get himself enough space and distance to either lay the ball or shoot the ball. At number 6 comes Magic Johnson and Magic Johnson's famous no-look pass. What can we say about Magic Johnson basically defining Showtime and his ability to deceive opponents by basically driving in, usually on a fast break or what would be a layup or a dunk, but as the defense collapsed on him, he would pass the ball by not looking at the defender and completely fooling the defenders. At number 5 comes Michael Jordan. This time we're talking about his reverse layups. He basically defied gravity using unbelievable flexibility and athleticism to surprise his defenders, thereby putting the shot or the layup on the other side of the basket. At number 4 comes Allen Iverson and his very famous crossover.
Iverson, wow, what a fake on Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup for 2 of his 40.
Allen Iverson was gifted with great speed, great acceleration, and a killer crossover. It was that combination of speed and acceleration to deceive in which direction he was going to go that always had defenders on their heels, and many ankle breakers that define today's crossovers in the NBA were basically popularized by this move from Allen Iverson. At number 3 comes Hakeem Olajuwon, the Dream, in what is now known as the Dream Shake. Hakeem Olajuwon had many post-up moves, but for a player with that height, over 7 feet tall, to have that level of footwork allowed him to do many fakes to just get one shot up and spin and move with that footwork, and thereby getting the shot on maybe the third or second fake. That's what popularized the Dream Shake. At number 2 comes Dirk Nowitzki and his popular one-legged fadeaway. This is the one shot that Dirk Nowitzki could use that was basically unblockable. By fading back, getting the ball up and over his head, and extending his other leg in front of the defender to create some space. No player is more well known for that signature move as Dirk Nowitzki is for that one-legged fadeaway that's been copied and used by other players today, including the likes of Kevin Durant. At number 1, we have a move that not only was extremely effective, to this day, nobody has been able to master that move as the player who created it. And we're talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his very famous skyhook that many players, including in his own team, Magic Johnson, used what later was known as the baby hook. What made Kareem's shot unique is that not only was it used often, and it was used successfully by Kareem because it was almost unblockable. That ball was going to be shot and there was nothing anyone could do about it. The energy from that shot came from the flick of his wrist. Most players that you watch today who throw a hook shot, I wouldn't call it the sky hook, but any type of hook shot, you notice that there is rotation in their arms or their elbow, but not a straight up shot that only flicks the wrist to get it in. So because of that lack of movement in all the other parts of his body, he only had to control the wrist. It was extremely effective for Kareem. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was able to have a very long and successful career in part because of the devastating skyhook.